goal is for you to identify where the market's going to draw to. If you can determine where the market is most likely, not all the time, most likely where it's going to reach for, that's the largest portion of the battle. That's the thing that makes this so impossible for new students or a new trader, because you're looking at whatever time frame you're looking at, and you're trying to find a pattern or an indicator indicating something, instead of understanding where price is trying to travel to. It's trying to go up or it's trying to go down. And if you can get that correct more times than not, what have you done? You have arrived at a bias. And here's the thing that you need to understand. There may be times where that bias is not obvious. What do you do in those circumstances? Nothing. You wait. You simply wait. What are you waiting for? For the period of time when it is obvious to you what it's trying to reach for. And as soon as you identify it, and you know what it's likely to draw for, higher or lower, a specific level, not a zone, then you determine where you're at right now. Is it time that we expect volatility to increase? Are we in a specific time of day that is conducive for a sustained price run? Or are we in Asia where it's likely to sit around and do nothing? But ICT, I got 6 examples right here where Asia, I know that, but predominantly, you know that between 9:30 and 11 o'clock, there's a strong tendency for the market to want to do what? Move. And then have a retracement during the lunch hour. And that retracement may set up another leg higher or lower, whatever the morning session did, or a reverse. Those are all amplified topics that you want to tackle later on. But in the beginning, you just want to know where the market's likely to go to. If you do that, you're on your first steps to avoiding failure. Because everybody that doesn't know where the market's likely to go, they're failing. They're missing the point. The plot escapes them. They have no idea. So if you start there, and I have lessons, all my lessons teach that. There's a video that says, draw on liquidity. Because all of my discussions, every example, every lecture is always talking about that. It's always giving you a little bit more insight about each and every aspect that is required for you to get good at that. And here's the missing recipe ingredient to that: time doing it. Experience is going to be your best mentor. That's why I tell everybody, sit down with me for at least a year, and you'll know if you have it in you. But you're going to learn a whole lot of things that I can't sit down and say, you're going to learn this, you're going to learn that. You'll know what resonated with you. But if you understand that skill set and you get good at where the market's likely to go to, the next thing you need to understand is risk management. But ICT, I need an entry. No, you don't. Because you literally can buy or sell anywhere's appropriate. Don't think so? Test me out in August. August is the shittiest month of the summer. It's big money goes away. There are moves in August. I'm not saying it's going to be any volatility, but generally, symmetry, precision elements gets a little bit muddy in August. You collectively as a community should think, okay, August, if you're going to do any kind of vacations, it should be the month of August, and feel confident that being away from the month of August isn't going to hurt you. Now, if you have that skill set of knowing, or if you're going to borrow mine when I point to certain things where I think the market likely to go to, use a micro lot. One, not a mini, not multiple ones, not 15 because your funded account says you can do it. Trade with one micro lot, one micro contract, and just literally, as soon as you identify the draw, determine how far it can go against you before that idea would be null and void for that session. And wherever that is, it might be 30 handles. It might be 45 handles in the NASDAQ. Use one micro contract. That's it. One. And get in there and trade with it right there in a demo, not with your live account, and put the stop loss at where you think it would fail in that idea. And you put a limit order at the draw. You're going to find huge consistency doing that. But I'm not making a lot of money. Right. Because in the beginning, it's not about making money. It's about you conquering your fear about doing it wrong. But you want to be right. And you want to make the most that you can make when you're right. But you don't want to lose anything. You've literally created this idea of trading in the realm of impossible. Because that doesn't exist. Nobody can do what you're thinking trading is all about. Nobody does that. I don't. I'm an inner circle trader. I don't fucking do that. But there's an imaginary oasis that exists in the minds of traders when they first start doing this. They think that there is some way out there that they can always go in and get the biggest winning portion of the trade, and always have the smallest, tiniest little bit of risk and be 98% profitable? No. You want someone to tell you? I will. No, don't do that. Don't think that. Don't believe that. When you're first starting, where your focus is, what you should be believing is the most important thing is understanding where's the draw on liquidity and work with that. Accept the facts that when you get it wrong, okay, what didn't you see in the chart? Go into your charts and really break it down. What was there that you didn't notice? And encourage yourself to say, you know what? This was a good opportunity for me to learn this about that. Not get mad and cuss at yourself or say, I'm never going to get this, because that's failing. You're on the pathway to failure doing that. Nobody gets to the winner's circle being toxic and judgmental about themselves and not see the silver lining in what it is that they're trying to learn. You have to cheerlead yourself. You have to be your biggest cheerleader. And that happens with a journal. A journal never encapsulates. It never gives room for that. Now, you can observe what you did incorrect, but you have to turn that around and say, I did this incorrect during this trade and I didn't see this. I'm thankful that I had the opportunity to see what I didn't see then. Now I can use this as advantageous intel going forward. Do you see what I just did there? It's positive reinforcement about a shortcoming that you as a human being didn't have the capability and capacity to understand at the time. But you're not beating yourself. You have to cheerlead yourself. You have to coddle yourself. Encourage yourself. All these things, these are positive self-talk. It's important because if you have anxiety or if you develop anxiety, and some of you will, if you start trading with real money, you will feel your first panic attack. It's a given. It's going to happen. You will feel it. And it will be scary. And that in itself is a learning experience. And I've had discussions about how to manage that too. But you can't avoid it. But when you know where the draw is and you get better at it and you work through those growing pains of not knowing how to do it right in the beginning, but learning to get better at it. And then you also learn how to manage risk. If you get good at manage risk and also knowing where the draw on liquidity is, guess what you have become? Think about it. What have you become? The highest probable outcome is you'll be a break-even trader. And that's a goal. When you first start, you want to get to that point because most people can't even maintain break-even. What does that mean, ICT? Like, what are you trying to get at here? In the beginning, everybody wants to go out there and start making money right away, but that doesn't work like that. Even with me training you, that's not going to happen. You're going to have periods of where you do well, and then one or two things happen, and you go into a tailspin, and either your skill set or your lack of control just goes into drawdown, and whatever you made, you give back, and you go right back to break even.
Wow, what you just learned here could change the whole approach to trading. Are you ready to take the next step? Your next big insight is just one click away.